Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by Honda. At the Checkered Flag event, you'll measure your heart rate in RPMs.
Beautiful shot of San Francisco. We are on the East Bay in Oakland, California at the Coliseum. The Blue Jays trying to avoid the sweep. The Blue Jays have not been swept in a series of 3 games or more since last September in New York against the Yankees, and they don't want to start now. John Gibbons' Blue Jays have lost 3 of 4, and they've scored a total of 7 runs in those 4 games, so they're looking for a little more offense today. Josh Donaldson, since coming off the disabled list, 11 for 39 with 3 doubles and 4 home runs. And Bautista's in the 3rd spot. Down in the 7th spot, the catcher back in the lineup today, Russell Martin. His last 7 games, he's been swinging the bat well. A couple of home runs, a double, and 4 RBIs for Martin. And the big news is he's back to catch Liriano, and the Blue Jays will take on Jarrell Cotton for the first time.
It's literally been an up and down year for Cotton this season. 7 starts to begin the season, then sent down to the minor leagues on May the 11th for the first time as a member of the A's. He recalled May 27th when last night's starter Jesse Hahn went on the disabled list. Has taken the loss in each of his last 3 starts for the first losing streak of his career. Cleveland knocked him around in the 6th inning after issuing a career-high tying 4 walks and allowing 5 runs, but only 1 of those runs was earned. He's one of 3 players acquired from the Dodgers for Rich Hill and Josh Reddick at the trade deadline last year. And like you said, Buck, this is the first appearance against the Blue Jays.
Kevin Pilar steps in. Cotton is ready. Here's the first pitch of the game. It's swung on and missed, and we are underway. Kevin Pilar, he certainly deserved a better fate last night. Pilar ended up 1 for 4 in the game, but he hit the ball sharply 3 times. Lined out twice before he got that single to right. .94-mile-an-hour fastball fouled straight back. Cotton is 25 years old. He was born in the Virgin Islands, but he came to the United States, went to high school in Virginia for his senior season, and aspirations of going to the University of Miami. That was where he wanted to play his college baseball. High fastball. Pilar lays off.
He's off to a good start today using that cutter. It's been a very good pitch for him since he has come back from the minor leagues. Spent some time down in the minor leagues to work on his command and work on his pace. Quicken things up just a little bit.
Pilar hits it in the air to left. Marcana, the left fielder, is there. 1 away. Well, defense has been a real concern for Oakland. They committed an error in last night's game. So in the outfield, it's kind of Davis and Pinder in right field. Rosales and Lowry up the middle. Plouffe and Healy at the corners, and Josh Phegley will do the catching for Jarrell Cotton.
Not a problem in right field, at least last night. Pinder has made some starts at second, short, left, and in right field last night. Made his 3rd start today. Made a nice play. Picked up his first outfield assist as a right fielder yesterday. Made some nice throws into the infield. Took away a base hit from Jose Bautista. He looks like an athletic player.
Here is a former athletic player, Josh Donaldson. He takes the first pitch upstairs. I mentioned Donaldson since coming off the disabled list. .294 for the season with 6 home runs. What would you do if you were facing a pitcher for the first time like the Blue Jays facing Cotton?
I would like to take a look at all of his pitches. I've got the scouting report. I was down in the clubhouse earlier today, and the hitters were all looking at video of Cotton. They were reading over the scouting reports, but it's not like standing in that batter's box. I'd want to take a couple of pitches, see what the ball looks like coming out of his hand. The most important thing, I want to see what his breaking ball looks like. His curveball looks like it's pretty good. Will use it a little bit, but hitters are only hitting $140 against it.
2-1. Upstairs. You mentioned the pace that Cotton works at. He was very deliberate, and they suggested he works a little quicker, trying to keep everybody on the field engaged.
Bob Melvin, the manager of the Oakland A's, says his stuff is great. They wanted to get his rhythm just a little bit better, work a little bit quicker, get the ball, don't think too much, get it, and just use that great arm to his advantage.
So Donaldson walks with 1 out. And bring Jose Bautista to the plate. Bautista is going through a little bit of a tough stretch. 2 for his last 23, and he's had 8 strikeouts in his last 6 games.
Starting to show signs, though, that he is hitting the ball a little bit square. Remember, he was robbed of a hit in the first game here on Monday, lined out to the third baseman. Last night hit a bullet to center field. He was all over that. So just like Kevin Pilar, he is showing some signs that the line drives are coming back to that swing.
Ball goes off Fegley's glove, and Donaldson chooses to stay put at first. Cotton wants another baseball as that ball bounced right out of the glove of the catcher. Fegley caught here on Monday night, back there behind the plate this afternoon. It's his 21st start. We mentioned the defensive problems for Oakland. The catchers have been charged with 10 errors. Fegley has 4. Stephen Vogt has 6. That's a lot of errors from behind the plate.
Yeah, it's so early in the season. 10 errors and 7 pass balls already charged to their catchers.
It was almost 8. Bautista with the count in his favor. A ball and no strikes. It's very difficult when you're facing a pitcher that you don't know first and foremost, but then who's all over the place. Yeah. He throws pitches all over the place, and all of a sudden he makes a good pitch down and away, and it catches you totally off guard.
Pitchability has been a problem for the young right-hander for the Oakland A's, being able to throw pitches where he needs to. But you're right. The last thing you want to see as a hitter, a guy throwing it all over the place, then he starts painting on you. That first pitch to Jose right on the outside corner.
Donaldson at first, he drew the walk. Big swing and a miss. Cotton's got a terrific changeup. That was a slider, but he's got a great changeup that has a lot of movement on it.
And the pitch that he is throwing a little bit more since coming back from the disabled list, or excuse me, from the minor leagues, is the cutter. He's been using it a lot. Looks like he's going to be throwing it right here.
Bautista gets a piece of it.
Just off the end of the bat. He's got the highest cutter whiff percentage since coming back from the minor leagues. Almost 40% of his strikeouts are a result of that good cutter slash slider.
Got a pretty firm fastball. We've seen him hit 94 already. Fegley offering a couple of different pitches.
Cotton's a youngster. Again, he came over from the Dodgers. Let's take a look at what he will use. A little bit of everything. Curveball, changeup, cutter 24% of the time. That's his slider slash cutter. Fastball 47% of the time. They're hitting 273 off the changeup, 273 off of his fastball.
Cotton made his major league debut last September 7th. Right here in this ballpark. It was against the Angels. He threw 6 1/3, allowed just 2 hits. Pretty good start to a major league career.
His first start back coming from the minor leagues was really good against the Yankees. Trying to settle in here in the first inning. Normally, I would think Josh Donaldson would go here. 3-2, 1 out, but his leg problems that he has had this season, I don't think they're going to send the runner. Is not taking a very big lead at first base.
3-2. Donaldson not running. Bautista swings and misses and strikes out. First strikeout of the ball game. And It was that big slider. That time he's put it down and away. You talk about swings and misses. He can get him with that breaking ball.
There it is right there. He'll throw a lot of strikes with it. Picks up his first strikeout of this afternoon on a 3-2 beauty.
So Kendrys Morales will bat with 2 outs. Morales 1 for 4 in the game last night. Might have been that changeup, floated it right in there. Morales batting .250 against right-handed pitching. High pop-up, lots of room here in Oakland. That is a foul ball, and it's going to do it. Trevor Pook makes the catch in foul ground. The Blue Jays get a walk. They leave a base runner. Francisco Liriano will take them out when we come back to Oakland.
A's fans.
Sixteen of their last 23 games playing here in this ballpark, the Coliseum in Oakland, and Bob Melvin's the skipper of this ball. Let's take a look at his lineup this afternoon. They are 6 games under. They are 5 games in 5th spot in the AL West. Rajai Davis, former Blue Jay, going up against Francisco Liriano. He's got pretty good numbers: 3 doubles, a home run, and 2 RBIs. And then Ryan Healy, he has had a terrific 5-game hit streak. Look at these numbers. He's 9 for 18, a .500 average with a lot of damage. 3 doubles, 4 home runs, and 10 ribbies over his last 5 games.
Lots of extra base hits. They will face Francisco Liriano. Makes his 2nd start since coming off the disabled list with left shoulder inflammation. He threw 81 pitches versus the Yankees, and that took him into the 6th inning. Liriano won that game to improve to 3-2 on the season. He should be good to go 90 to 100 pitches this afternoon. For his career, 16 games, including 14 starts against Oakland, so he knows all about the Oakland A's.
He is looking to win his 100th career game here this afternoon. He is 99 and 94 for his career. Rajai Davis hitting 198. Kevin Pilar took a flat route, and that ball is over his head, and Davis is going to check in at second with a leadoff double. His 9th double of the season.
Looked like it might have been a catchable ball, but Pilar didn't get a good read on it. Kevin was cutting across the diamond after that ball and then realizes it's going to be over his head, and now he's got to move backwards and just throws up a token attempt on that ball. That'll be a leadoff double for Rajai Davis.
Chad Pinder is back in right field in this ball game. He has made 3 starts in right. He's their super utility player. He has played in left, second, and short, as Pat mentioned. Liriano in his last start against New York had to pitch around a 3-base error to the first batter. Brett Gardner hit a ball to left field, and Guerrero made an error on it, and Gardner got to third, but Liriano was able to retire the next 3 batters in order.
That's what he can do, because his stuff is so good. He can get himself into trouble, or if his teammates fail behind him, his stuff is so good, and when it's on, he can get out of trouble like that. He was pitching around a few base runners those first couple of innings.
Liriano, after that 3-base error, got Sanchez to ground out, struck out Aaron Judge, and got Matt Holliday to fly out. Liriano's got such great stuff. His fastball's explosive. He had a wicked breaking ball the last time out, and his changeup was very good.
Well, like we were saying in the opening, his arm strength was back. He was telling me after that start he could reach out and finish his pitches. His slider was better. His changeup was better. When you don't have the arm strength, you can't reach out there and finish your pitches.
2-2 now to the right fielder, Chad Pinder. Now it's a full count. Liriano has always struggled throwing first pitch strikes. His highest career percentage of first pitch strikes came back in 2010 while pitching for Minnesota. He had a 61.4% first pitch strikes. And there he gets a big strikeout. So Davis still at second base with the leadoff double. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays defensively, how they line up. Chris Coggins in left, Kevin Pilar's in center. Jose Bautista in right. Up the middle, it's Tulowitzki and Goins. Donaldson and Smoak at the corners, and Russell Martin makes his 30th start behind the plate doing the catching for Liriano.
Chris Coggins draws the assignment in left field today. It's a tough sun field. It helps a little bit with the clouds, but this is a tough sun field. He came up as an outfielder. Got to get his bat in the lineup today, so he will play left field. Tell you what, be careful now. Rajai Davis at second base. There's one out. You've got a right-handed hitter in Lowry. He might try and steal third base. He manufactured a run all by himself yesterday.
Davis had a stolen base here on Monday night. In the 5th inning, he walked and stole second. Goins is shadowing Davis, standing right near the bag at second. I think this trip right here from Russell Martin's going to be, hey, don't worry about Rajai Davis. Your stuff is so good. If he does steal third, you can still get out of it.
Yeah, you can leave him stranded there. Don't come out of your delivery to try and speed things up just because there's a fast runner at second base. He's fallen behind Jed Lowry.
2 balls and no strikes. Liriano that time saw Davis bounce off after he was set. Davis has 8 steals. He's been caught 4 times. Breaking ball for a strike. He can throw that breaking ball almost at will when he's behind. I think he does it so effortlessly because he knows he has to throw a strike. When he throws it when he's ahead, he tries to throw it too hard and make it too good.
Gets a little bit too fast ahead of himself. And Russell has said, hey, his slider is a very important pitch. We got to use it, especially when we're behind. And look at that. He's right back in the count.
We mentioned the first pitch strike average this season. Liriano's at 56%. That's below the major league average. The average is right over 60% first pitch strikes. Another full count. Chris Davis has had a good series. He had a couple of RBIs, sac fly, and an RBI double in last night's game. He walked twice on Monday night and scored both times. Lowry strikes out. The ball gets away from Martin, and Davis takes third. But the strikeout is the second out of the inning.
You know, and Russell had to hold that ball because the ball was in the dirt. He had to hold the ball because the batter wasn't out until he left the dirt area. Watch this pitch. Slider, that's a strikeout. Now, no sign right now from anybody. Still no sign. Russell's got to hold that ball, and the umpire says as soon as he leaves the dirt area, he calls him out. So they give Davis third base.
But now there are 2 outs, and here's Chris Davis. Davis started in left field on Monday night, and then he left that ball game with a problem with his calf. He has DH'd in both of the games since Monday. A right calf tightness situation took him out of the game on Monday night.
And you got to believe Rajai Davis is going to come down that third base line as far as possible. With Chris Davis at the plate, Josh Donaldson's got to play deep at third base. Told you he manufactured a run in the first inning in yesterday's ball game on a short fly ball to right field. He was at third base with less than 2 outs. Davis popped the ball down the right field line and just outran the baseball.
Martin wanted that pitch, and I can see why. It looked like it caught the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Liriano trying to pitch around a leadoff double. He surrendered that to Rajai Davis. Chris has hit well against Liriano, including a couple of home runs. That slider is breaking nasty early.
Had a chance to talk to Luke Maley today, who caught Liriano in his last start, and he said big difference in his start last time than the one he caught him before that, before he went on the disabled list. He said everything was coming out of his hand beautifully. The slider was really breaking. It was very crisp. Said his changeup was really good. Right now he's battling command just a little bit. This next pitch will be his 20th of the inning.
Third full count this inning. But he has 2 strikeouts and a man at third with 2 outs. Breaking ball hit to left field. Coughlin is back in front of the wall, jumps, it's over his head. Davis will go into second. Rajai Davis comes in to score, and the A's score again in the first inning. Second time in his 3-game series they've come across to score in the first.
I've played in this ballpark in left field, and it is very tough sun field. Anything up into the air this time of the day gets up into that sun, and you basically lose it. Coughlin has a beat on this ball. It's hit hard by Davis to left field, but he turns one way and turns back another way, and I don't know if he really picked that ball up. You're looking right up into the sun. Now he's going back, and he can't come up with it. A's score again in the first.
Pair of doubles here in the first inning. Rajai Davis and Chris Davis. Says Ryan Healy takes the first pitch strike. We mentioned Healy's great stretch over his last 5 games. 9 for 18 with 4 homers and 10 RBIs. Had a 2-homer game on Monday night. That against Jay Happ. A 3-run home run in the second. A 2-run home run in the fourth. Ground ball up the middle. Tulowitzki is there. Gathers and fires in time. The inning is over. But the Oakland A's break out on top. RBI for Chris Davis, his 37th.
Clubhouse underneath the seats here at Rickey Henderson Field. The Troy Tulowitzki summoned Marco Estrada over to eat and watch what was on the television. That was University of Texas against Long Beach State, NCAA baseball game. The two were teammates over at Long Beach. They are thrilled their alma mater is off to the Super Regional. Now, Tulowitzki has remained very close with the program. He says, that was the program that had such an influence on me. I wasn't drafted coming out of high school. I wasn't a big recruit. He said, if it wasn't for the coaches there instilling work ethic, teaching me the game, I wouldn't have made it to the big leagues or had success. Estrada says the college experience helped him grow up. He says their coach, Troy Buckley, straightforward. Said how it was, how it is. I never had that before. And Tulowitzki Buck says Coach Buckley is like a second father to him.
That's awesome that they would have that kind of experience in college.
It's not a mistake when you win like that. You've got good players, and they're big leaguers.
And they have produced a lot of them out of Long Beach State. Justin Smoak, big first baseman. Smoak enters the game batting .283. 23 extra base hits for Justin.
He was telling me yesterday he feels like his swing from the left side, he can get the ball in the air just a little bit better because he's dominant with his left hand. And with that left hand, that's the top hand, while he's hitting left-handed, takes it and can get underneath the ball and get it into the air.
This ball is driven to left. This ball's gonna go. Get up, ball, and gone. Almost a carbon copy of the home run he hit here on Monday night in the 8th inning. On opposite field, the home run, number 16 for Justin Smoak.
That's exactly what he was talking about yesterday, how, you know, he can lift the ball in the air just a little bit better from the left side. It's not where he drops his back shoulder and pops the ball up. It's just the flight of the bat is through the ball level. He keeps telling himself, stay down on the ball, stay down on the ball. And what that does is it flattens out his bat on his swing. Watch it with his left hand guiding the way up and through. Nice little home run uppercut. Home run number 16. What a beautiful swing.
Great swing, and he's starting to recognize when he squares it up. It's got to be a great feeling. RBI number 41. And the Blue Jays have tied it up. Home runs are significant for the Blue Jays. When they don't homer, they are 3-11. When they hit home runs, they're 25-20.
Smokey making these ballparks look small this year. He hit one to left field. You said it's almost a carbon copy of the one he hit the other day. He was talking about that one yesterday also. He said, I didn't think I got it all. I was thinking about having to slide into second base. But it's carrying. With that swing, that ball's carrying just a little bit further this year.
Troy Tulowitzki. Rash talked about Tulowitzki and Marco Estrada in their college playing days at Long Beach State. Of course, the Long Beach State nickname, they call them the Dirtbags.
The Dirtbags.
This is the style they play. All out to win.
They've had a few big leaguers come through there recently.
Yeah, they've had a rich tradition of players coming out of that program.
Longo, Evan Longoria, he's pretty good.
Jared Weaver, Jason Vargas, they are all on those teams with Longoria and Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki strikes out. Pitch was away from him. It's the second strikeout for Cotton.
Hit a home run with any project this season. Home Hardware, proud sponsor of the Toronto Blue Jays.
We are across the bay from San Francisco. It's a great shot of Alcatraz with the cable car going down toward Fisherman's Wharf. Lots to do here, and it's been a beautiful 3 days. Of course, we're going up to the northwest, Seattle, after this game. And Seattle's tough to beat as well. A couple of great cities to visit on this road trip.
Speaking of tough to beat, the Mariners have been tough to beat. See how many runs they've been scoring?
They've been scoring runs in bunches, that's for sure. Here's Russell Martin. He falls behind quickly, 0-2. Cotton strikes him out. Back-to-back strikeouts after the Smoak home run.
Well, unfortunately for Russell, he got the best of Jarrell Cotton right there. 3 really nasty pitches. Fastball, curveball, and then that cutter right on the outside part of the plate. That's an at-bat where you go back to the dugout and say, you know what, he was better. He threw me 3 really tough pitches, but I'll get him next time.
Chris Coghlan batting in the 8th spot this afternoon. You can see the quality of pitches that Cotton has, and it's just a matter of refining his command. He's got 3 legit pitches.
Yeah, another reason why they sent him down. They want him to work on his command. Came back last start. He had a career high tying 4 walks. Blue Jays have already got him 1 time this afternoon for a walk.
Two outs. It's a 1-1 game. Coghlan fouls it up. Jarrell Cotton, as Pat mentioned, went down to the minor leagues to try to iron some things out, and he made 7 starts before his demotion. ERA closing in on 6. Opponents hitting over 280. But Pat, since he's come back, it's a lot different for Cotton.
Faced the Indians, and he faced the New York Yankees. Both of those games on the road. Both of those games pitching into the 6th inning against pretty good offensive teams. Patient teams. He had 7 walks, though, in those 2 starts to go along with just 9 strikeouts.
Pitched very well on the road. 2-3 record with a 283 earned run average on the road. Different story here, and Coghlan takes ball 4. Second walk issued by Cotton. He goes with 2 walks, and he has struck out 3.
Young pitchers, in terms of age and in terms of experience, they think when they fall behind they have to throw the ball harder to try and get outs. You see it time and time again, and then as they mature and get a couple of years under the belt, they start backing off just a little bit to keep that ball in the strike zone. Cotton looked like he wanted to rush through and finish the inning and fell behind and started throwing harder.
Ryan Goins looks to get a lot of playing time at second, with Devin Travis being placed on the disabled list. After Smoak hit the home run, Ryan Goins goes over to the bat rack and said, "Hey, Smokey, what'd you see from Cotton?" Talking about stuff, release point, fastball. Just go up there and hit a homer, Ryan.
I don't know if that's the right guy to ask right there, because he's seeing the ball better than anybody. He might be seeing something some of the other players don't know what to look for.
That's a high strike right at the top of the letters. Ryan finished the game last night 1 for 4. Tough combination. 1 up and in, 1 down and away. A couple of good fastballs from Cotton. I gotta believe he's going to throw him that changeup. He turns that changeup over, it'll run down and away from left-handed hitters. And it's a swing and a miss changeup.
Yeah, it's a swing and miss changeup. He'll pick up his share of strikeouts. His career high is 9. Got that at Minnesota.
We threw him a breaking ball and he hung it. Flipped the curveball in there with 2 strikes. Not a good pitch, and Goins hammers it to left.
Continues this inning. Home run, strikeout, strikeout, walk. Now base hit. Curveball. That was a hanger right there.
See, here's where younger pitchers will learn that when you're working to the bottom of the order, you got 2 outs. You can't walk the number 8 hitter. I don't care who it is, and it doesn't make any difference. You just got to be aggressive. Bottom of the order, those are the guys you have to get out. They're hitting down there for a reason.
For a reason. You don't want to overthrow. Looked like he was overthrowing just a little bit to Coughlin, and he lost him. Now they turn the lineup over, and Pilar gets another shot with a runner in scoring position. Tell you, he has thrown a lot of pitches. 19 in the first inning. 20 more in this inning.
Pitch efficiency. Everybody strives to throw around 15 pitches per inning. That's the ideal. Kevin Pilar flied out to left field his first time up. Coughlin's at second, Goins at first. It's a 1-1 game. First pitch strikes. It changes everybody's approach from the mound. You get ahead, then you've got so many different things you can do.
Yeah. At times it will put the batter on the defensive, especially if you've never faced a guy before. Hitting 0-1.
Now it's 0-2. Kevin Pilar just 3 for 34 with runners in scoring position. Of course, the Blue Jays haven't been very good at that lately. They snapped a long drought last night with a Donaldson base hit, but they are 2 for their last 40 with runners in scoring position. Inside. 1-2 now.
He is due for a hit. You mentioned that he was hitting the ball hard yesterday. Didn't have much to show for it. Time to dump one into the outfield.
Cotton wasn't really sure about that pitch. He just spun around because he wasn't set on throwing that last pitch that he had in his mind.
And the infielders are deep with 2 outs and 2 strikes on the batter. They are going to play on the outfield grass to knock anything down. So there's nobody at second base. Chris Coughlin's getting a huge lead.
Pilar drives this one to the alley. Get up, ball, get up, and gone out of here. Kevin Pilar, a 3-run home run, his 8th of the season. And the Blue Jays have taken the lead.
There's some inconsistencies right there with the young pitcher. He gave up a home run to Smoak and then came back and threw 2 strikeouts at Tulowitzki and Martin, threw some great pitches to those 2, and then lost Coughlin. And that started the inning really starting to unwind for him. And then gave up a base hit to Goins with 2 strikes. And then a 2-strike hanger again to Kevin Pilar. Another breaking ball that's hit out of the ballpark by the Blue Jays, and they take a lead.
The home run, such a big part of the Blue Jays attack. 2 homers this inning. And it's 4-1 Jays.
2 strikes on Pilar. Cotton worrying about that runner at second base. Looked like the cutter, and it was down right where he likes it, and Pilar unloads. 3 RBIs with 1 swing of the bat.
Donaldson fouls it back. He's behind 0-2. Boy, it just goes back to 2 outs and the number 8 hitter, Chris Coughlin. Cotton walked him and then was ahead 0-2 to Ryan Goins, hung him a breaking ball. Goins got a base hit. And then Pilar was behind 0-2. And Cotton gave up a 3-run home run.
Just a little bit inconsistent right now in his location. Blue Jays taking advantage of it with the long ball.
Outside. Cotton has now surrendered 8 home runs in 8 starts, including home runs in 4 straight. Donaldson waits back and fouls it out of play.
He might have to change his thought process with 2 strikes. That was a pitch right there that Josh just missed. Right there. You mentioned the home runs. That's 8 now over his last 5 starts after giving up just 1 over his first 5 starts.
Breaking ball off the plate. Full count. Bautista getting loose on deck. Donaldson walked in the first inning. Cotton is set. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Donaldson. Ball 4. Second time he's walked. Third walk of the ball game issued by Cotton. We mentioned Cotton was born in the Virgin Islands. He grew up in St. Thomas. And then he decided he wanted to play baseball, so he moved to Newport News, Virginia. Went to high school his senior year at Menchville High School, one of the best high schools in Virginia. And that he parlayed into an opportunity at Miami-Dade Junior College. He eventually went to East Carolina and was drafted by the Dodgers out of East Carolina.
Made his way up to the Dodgers, and then right at the trade deadline last season was one of 3 players acquired by Oakland. That big trade. Rich Hill and Josh Reddick going to the Dodgers at the trade deadline last season.
Frankie Montas, who's down in their bullpen, he came along with Cotton along with Grant Holmes, another pitcher. They got 3 right-handed pitchers in that deal for Hill and Reddick.
He's just trying to overthrow his way through this inning, trying to finish it off. Remember, they've already had 1 visit to the mound.
The A's have won the first 2 games of this series, the first 2 games of the season these 2 ball clubs have played. The Jays won 5 of 6 in 2015 against Oakland, and last year the 2 clubs split the 6 games. Bautista hits it high and deep. Davis broke back. He's coming in now, and he makes the catch. That'll end the inning, but the Blue Jays send 8 men to the plate. First batter in the inning, Justin Smoak, for a second time in this series, goes opposite field, his 16th of his season. And then Kevin Pilar hits a 3-run shot, his first ever here in Oakland. Francisco Liriano. And now it'll be a couple of former teammates facing off against one another. Liriano against Trevor Plouffe. They were with the Minnesota Twins in 2010 through 2012.
So Plouffe knows all about his former teammates.
He's had some success. He's 4 for 7 against Liriano.
3 home runs and just 1 strikeout. This year a little bit different. He's been battling a horrific slump lately.
0 for 25. That's the longest hitless streak among position players in the American League. And Liriano misses. It's 2-1. They're the numbers we were talking about for Plouffe against Liriano. And there's that slider. I tell you what, he's got a unbelievable knack for dropping that slider in, and I think it's just his tempo.
Yeah.
He knows he's got to throw a strike, so he just takes his time and throws a very good breaking ball.
Doesn't overthrow it. Stays back. That time he went for the strikeout and overthrew it and missed again. When he's got his slider and his changeup working, that's when he's going to have the big strikeout games.
Oh, it was hit hard, but foul.
And his biggest strikeout game was against this team right here. July 13th, 2012, when he was a member of the Minnesota Twins.
15 strikeouts. And you can see how he can accumulate 15 strikeouts. He's got great stuff. That time he walks Trevor Plouffe to start the inning.
The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Hurry in to grab the Civic that matches your game.
That is a shot of downtown Oakland. We are just south of downtown Oakland in the Coliseum. Mark Canha playing in left field for a second straight game. He shows bunt and bunts it foul. Well, Martin got on it quickly, but he made contact with it in foul territory. Chris Siegel, the home plate umpire, called it quickly. And Martin was trying to get a double play on that
Boy,
bunt.
that would have been a beautiful play. Watch Russell pop out there quickly. And he would have had a double play, but this ball is called foul. He is called in foul territory when he touches the baseball. That would have been a super play.
The umpire did a pretty good job of taking his mask off and getting in line with that first base foul line. And when the contact was made, Russell was in foul ground. There's a good changeup. 0-2. Thought it was a curious move to begin with. Of Canha dropping down a bunt in that situation. They're down by 3. And
I think he was trying to push the ball by Liriano on the mound. Goins, the second baseman, is shifted over and deep. I think he was just trying to push it by him. You can see the right side of the infield. If he gets it by the pitcher and keeps it on the infield, beat it out. First time that he has faced Liriano in his career.
Liriano is tough to hit the opposite way, I would think, for a right-handed hitter because the ball sinks so much. He's got that hard breaking ball that comes in. And there's that nasty slider. That's 4 strikeouts, excuse me, 3 strikeouts for Liriano. That's the first out here in the bottom of the second.
Took his time on that one and didn't try and overthrow it. Stays back nicely. He's got plenty of spin, and you can see that ball right underneath the bat of Mark Canha. When he takes his time and he stays back and lets his body work in unison with his arm, that's when his stuff is outstanding. I mentioned that 15 strikeout game. He got everybody but Yoenis Cespedes that day. Cespedes was with the A's. 15 punch-outs.
Catcher is Josh Fankley. He has not faced Liriano in the past. He falls behind 0-1. We always talk about Russell Martin and how well Liriano pitches when he's throwing to Russell Martin, and the numbers really back it up. For his career, Liriano has a .292 ERA throwing to Russell Martin. When he's not throwing to Russell Martin, his ERA is .434. So there you go. He's just got confidence in what Russell calls. He said, I feel very comfortable with him back behind the plate because I know if I bounce my slider, Russell will block it.
He'll block it. And you talk to Russell. Russell says, I'm very confident I can use his slider. I can pitch backwards with him. And all that means is I can throw breaking balls and fastball counts and vice versa. So they work really well together. Liriano's got some hardware now in his closet. Comeback player of the year both in the American League and in the National League. Author of a no-hitter.
The fly ball to right. Bautista makes the catch. Begley is retired two-way.
Batting 9, shortstop, number 16, Adam Rosales.
Liriano's now 33 years old. He'll play this entire season at 33. He's a free agent at the end of this season. He came up for the first time in 2005 with Minnesota. But that's not where he began his career. He began his career across the bay with the San Francisco Giants. Never made it to the big leagues with the Giants. But he was signed by San Francisco as an amateur free agent in September of 2000. And then he was traded to Minnesota with Boof Bonser, Joe Nathan for A.J. Pierzynski.
One of the best trades the Minnesota Twins ever made. That's not a knock on A.J. Pierzynski. It's a knock that the Minnesota Twins were able to get those players to their team. Joe Nathan had a great career. And Liriano's done the same thing. Boof Bonser pitched for a little bit in their rotation. A.J. just retired.
He only spent 1 year in San Francisco. Adam Rosales behind 0-2, swings and misses. There's the throw to complete the strikeout. Leadoff walk, and the A's leave a runner. When we come back, it'll be Kendrys Morales leading things off. Justin Smoak has already gone deep this afternoon, and then Troy Tulowitzki.
Into My Blue Jays and enter the code MBJ5201 to earn My Blue Jays points just for watching the broadcast. The entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. The code must be entered by 4 a.m. and you can look for a new code tomorrow. But
Thank you very much, Rash. And the Blue Jays will have an off day in Seattle tomorrow before we see the entirety of Western Canada come to Seattle and watch the 3-game series. And we can't wait to see y'all, so make sure you get down there early. It'll be a great atmosphere, and as Pat mentioned, the Mariners are really playing well right now, scoring a ton of runs.
40 runs in their last 4 ball games.
If they win tonight, they will move back to 500 for just the 2nd time since opening day. The only other time they were at 500 was May 11th at 17-17. Kendrys Morales, 1-1 count. Fouled back. Now it's 1-2. Danny Valencia, playing first base for the Mariners, has reached base in 12 of his last 15 plate appearances.
9 straight hits.
Change up in the dirt. It's now 2-2 to leadoff man Morales here in the 3rd. The Blue Jays sent 8 men to the plate in the 2nd, scored 4 runs on 3 hits, including 2 home runs. High fly ball. Pinder has a bead on it over toward the foul line, went away. That'll bring Justin Smoak to the plate.
He is going to add to his team lead in home runs with this beautiful swing. Fastball down the middle, and he stays through it. Another thing that the Jays have worked on with Smoak is staying through the baseball and finishing his swing, not cutting off his swing. That bat head went through, finished, and drove the ball out of the ballpark in left field. Tell you what, he's got my vote right now for most improved player from last year to this year. Playing time's a big part of it, but you could just tell in spring training there was a difference in his swing. He's balanced. There's not a lot of movement. Remember last year he had the higher leg kick and he'd step towards the plate and cut himself off, and his head was moving all over the place. This year, with the help of Brooke Jacoby and Derek Shelton, he's quieted things down. He's got a great base that he's working from right now.
Changeup pulled foul. You can see his feet. He's rocking, and it's almost like he's dancing. He's got a little rhythm going, but you always hear hitters talk about rhythm. I got my good rhythm. Well, rhythm means you're balanced, your body is evenly distributed, and you're not going in one direction or the other, but you can commit to pitch inside or outside. He's got a nice approach working right now.
Picks it up and lays it right down.
Fly ball to deep right center. Rajay Davis right in front of the wall makes the catch on Smoak, and that was about a half swing. He drives it to the alley in right center.
It is a half swing, and he's able to hit it that far because he squared it up. He has a nice level swing through the baseball.
So with 2 outs, Troy Tulowitzki will step in. Tulo struck out after the Smoak home run in the 2nd. Off the end of the bat. Well, Cotton has done this a lot this afternoon. Got ahead 0-2. He hasn't been able to finish off at bats. He got ahead of Goins 0-2. Gave up a base hit.
Stay smooth. Don't try and muscle your way through the rest of the inning. Just think about executing a pitch to get that final out.
Upstairs at 96. He buries that breaking ball again. He's allowed Tulowitzki right back into the at-bat. 0-2 to 2-2.
Tough guy to face. because you have no idea where the ball's going to go. He's making some tough pitches on Jose Bautista. Jose talking about some of those sliders that he has seen down and away.
Ground ball to short. Rosales has it. And that'll do it. Blue Jays go down in order in the top half of the third. Francisco Liriano looking for his 100th career win. They became ill early this morning. They got a little headache. I think it's called a Kershaw headache.
Or the Strasburg. First time that those two have faced one another.
How about that? What a pitching matchup.
I think they were supposed to face one another recently, maybe last season or the year before, and it got rained out. So they're facing each other this year.
Strasburg, 5 innings, 1 hit, 7 strikeouts. Kershaw, 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts. Yeah, hitters aren't having a whole lot of fun down there at Dodger Stadium right now. Adrian Gonzalez has the hit off Strasburg. Ryan Zimmerman has a hit. Brian Rayburn has a hit, and Daniel Murphy has a hit. You were talking about Daniel Murphy the other day, how he might be the most transformed hitter over the last several seasons we have seen. He went from a line drive singles hitter to a power hitter. Rajay Davis is 2 for 2.
Buy 6 cans of Beauty Tone paint and get the 7th free. Available exclusively at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Beauty Tone, Canada's color experts.
We are at the Coliseum, and right next door is the Oracle Arena, and that's the home of the Golden State Warriors. And they will have a viewing party there tonight, 5 o'clock local time, when they tip it off in Cleveland, Game 3 of the NBA Finals.
The watch party.
The watch party. They talk about 15, 18,000 people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, big parties going on this afternoon in the parking lots here before they head into the Oracle Coliseum to watch the game.
Davis has a big lead at first, and Liriano going to chase him back.
He's got that big lead, and he is getting back easily. He can even take another step and a half if he wants to.
That time he was going back to first base as Liriano delivers a strike to Pinder. Sometimes you get that big a lead, it's a one-way lead, and you're just trying to draw a throw. Well, he's got a big lead, doesn't
Yes, yes, he does. Liriano doesn't have a great move over to first base.
A lot of times you look at that cutout of the grass, and if the base runner gets out beyond that cutout, that's the danger zone, and he is well beyond the cutout.
He definitely has Francisco's attention. One of these times, I think he's going to guess, and he's going to go on first movement.
He guessed, and he took a step towards second, but didn't like his jump.
Well, I think what the Blue Jays have to do, if they do pick him off, is they have to communicate who's going to be at second base. It looks like Ryan Goins, they are in the shift, is going to be the one receiving the ball from the first baseman.
Davis not running. Hot shot to Tulowitzki. It's off his glove. Looked like a double play ball. Tulowitzki come back on his heels. The ball hit off his glove, and both Davis now at second and Pinder at first reached safely.
Ball was hit hard, but you're right. He catches that ball. That's a double play ball. And he'll be charged with his 5th error of the season.
Got a little flat-footed. You could see how he kind of plays it defensively, and then he couldn't stretch for it when the ball took a little funny hop. 5 errors now charged to Chulo.
Liriano's going to have to pitch around some more traffic on the bases.
Well, he's been good doing that. He really did a great job of it in his last start against the Yankees. Jed Lowry, a strikeout victim his first time up.
With that movement that he has on those pitches, he can get his share of ground balls. Right now, that's what he needs.
There's a ground ball, but it's foul. Handled by Chip Hale, the third base coach. You know, the Blue Jays, they have kicked it around a little bit lately in the field. They've made 10 errors in their last 13 games. And they made an error in 9 of 10 games at home on a homestand. And you know what? The pitching has suffered because of it. Pitching has been off lately, and they haven't been able to make those consistent outings. The defense has been somewhat spotty lately.
It just adds to the pressure of that pitcher. It just adds to his pitch count. Having to deal with base runners, thinking you have to be perfect to get out of the inning. Right now, if he makes a pitch here and gets the ball on the ground, he'll get 2. Blue Jays have done a good job of doing that this year. They've turned 56 double plays.
3-1 now. Oakland has played very well here at home. We mentioned coming into this game, they've won 16 of their last 23 games playing here at the Coliseum. 3-1 pitch. Hit in the air, and that's going to be out of play.
This guy's a tough out, Jed Lowry. 7 home runs, just 20 runs driven in, but he came into this game hitting .292. Switch hitter. Doesn't strike out a lot, but he puts up really good at bats.
Lowry came up to the big leagues with the Boston Red Sox. He was a first-round pick of Boston in 2005. Spent parts of 4 seasons there. He has also played in Houston, 2 different stints, and this is his second go-around in Oakland. There goes Davis toward third. It's fouled off at the plate. Rajay Davis broke to third. Pinder running from first followed him towards second, but now they'll return. Martin again will have a little chat with Liriano about this next pitch. It's a 3-2 count. This is really a tough call for the A's because Liriano has strikeouts. He has the ability to rack up the strikeouts. He has 4 to this point. You start Davis and you might get a back pick on the second guy.
And that's why you see Russell Martin going out there to give the sign. That's probably, hey, we're going to, if they go and it's a striking out, I'm going to go to second base with this ball. I can't get Rajay Davis at third, but I think I can get that back runner. So he just flashed the sign where he's going to throw it if they take off.
Davis not running. Pulled on the ground. Donaldson goes to second for 1. Back to first. Not in time. The ball was hit deep at third. Donaldson had to wait for it. By the time he made the throw to second, Lowry had legged it out at first. So it's a fielder's choice. 1 out, and there'll be runners at the corners.
Has to give ground. Goins does it all. I mean, he is quick with that exchange from glove to hand over to first base. But Lowry runs too well. The ball wasn't hit that hard. Now they need a double play. They got the right guy running, I think, because he's had that calf problem. Hasn't been running well the last couple days.
But he's been hitting well. He had an RBI double in the first. Ball 1 down and away. Chris Davis, the DH, has 12 RBIs in his last 12 games. Up to 37 now. Ball 2. Interesting numbers for Davis, batting just 170. Runners in scoring position. Ground ball. Tulowitzki will go to Goins, and Goins bobbled it. Didn't get a good grip on it, and a run comes in to score. It looked like that was going to be a double play. But Goins went into his glove and didn't handle it cleanly and chose not to make the throw to first.
Yeah, or that would have been a double play. Chris Davis with the calf problem wasn't getting up that line. Here's the play, feed by Tulo. It's a good feed. And this time on the exchange, he bobbles it just momentarily, and they can't turn 2, and the A's take advantage of the error to score a run.
Another RBI for Chris Davis. It's 4-2 Blue Jays. Davis drove in 2 in last night's game. He's got 2 more here this afternoon. And you got to deal with the red-hot Ryan Healy. That double play would have forced Healy to lead off the next inning.
And he's got some power. That's that ball in. This time they pop him up.
Smoak, the first baseman, calls for it. Goes up on the mound, stays with it, makes a nice play to end the inning. But the A's take advantage of the air. They cash in a run. We'll go to the 4th. The Blue Jays have a 4-2 lead.
has become a best-of-3 series. Game 5 tomorrow night in Pittsburgh. For the Penguins, Patrick Hornquist, a maintenance day today. He missed practice. Nick Bonino, day-to-day. 8 o'clock Eastern on CBC and Sportsnet tomorrow, Game 5. And Buck, it was Nashville goaltender Pekka Rinne today who said, quote, "I'm living my dream right now."
You can imagine playing in a Stanley Cup Finals series, and it's all knotted up at 2-2, and I think everybody's living their dream playing in that thing. Terrific series so far. Jarrell Cotton starts the 4th inning facing Russell Martin. Martin struck out in the 2nd.
Much better inning last inning for Cotton. Just took his time and made a couple of nice pitches. Had a 1-2-3 inning. Overthrew that fastball.
Smoak and Pilar with home runs in that 4-run 2nd inning. Three 3-0. This is the frustrating part for a young pitcher, to have a 1-2-3 inning last inning and then miss with the first 3 pitches to start this inning.
7, 8, 9. Your team just scored a run. You'd like to have a shutdown inning. Blue
Pitch walk.
Blue Jays want to get that run back and more. I don't know how much longer they're going to wait. You might see some movement down in that bullpen. Bob Melvin writing himself some notes.
Kurt Young, the longtime pitching coach, right next to him. Chris Coghlan drew a walk and came around to score in the 2nd. Coghlan scored on Pilar's 3-run home run. I think in this day and age in the industry, there's too much emphasis on velocity and not much emphasis on command and control. Control the strike zone, command your pitches, and you should be able to pitch a long time.
Hey, 95 is great. But if you can't throw it where you want to, it doesn't do you any good.
And if you can't get 2nd and 3rd pitches over, you're going to catch up to 95. You can see Cotton's got a nice assortment of pitches. We have seen it at times in this game. But I think in general, pitchers nowadays, they start working for the corners. And when they miss, they have to work back toward the middle. Instead of starting in the middle and work to the corners, they start on the corners and work back to the middle.
There's nothing like getting ahead, throwing first pitch strikes, and then expanding from there. This has been a problem here. He's had some tough outings here at the Coliseum. His ERA, and this is a pitcher's ballpark, is up over 8 here at home. It's under 3 on the road.
He's given up 19 earned runs in 20 2/3 innings coming into this game. And he has had a 4-run inning this afternoon. Hard hit ball to center, but Rajay Davis is there. Coughlin's retired on the line drive.
Tell you, I'd be in attack mode if I was a pitcher in this ballpark. I'd just concentrate on keeping the ball down and get ahead early. Just attack early in the strike zone or early in the count. Keep the ball down and you'll get a lot of fly balls to the middle part of this field.
Cotton came through the Dodgers organization, and for years the Dodgers were the best organization at developing pitchers. Year in and year out, they'd have a core of pitchers that could throw strikes, command breaking balls, throw changeups. The Dodgers always used what they called the strings. In spring training, when you're throwing your side sessions, they would put 2 poles on the side of home plate, string 2 strings across, and then make a pitcher's strike zone. And you had to throw it inside those strings. And it was a great teaching mechanism. And as you got more skilled and more experienced, they would shorten the strike zone. Make it narrow, make it shorter, and you had to be more precise.
It's so simple. It's like a kid. You ever play home run derby? Put the strike zone on the wall and just try and hit certain spots. It's the same thing.
This is popped up over near the A's bullpen. Proof is over there, makes the catch. And Goins is retired 2 away. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Corey Seager with the home run. And that's his 8th home run. Ryan Zimmerman homered early, his 17th. So both teams have given up a solo home run. It's 1-1.
What do those games usually end up being? The starters do their thing and they're out of the game. They never get decisions because they're both so good. It's usually the bullpens. And it's usually ended late in the game. The decision, the outcome.
Kevin Pilar gets jammed. It's going to be a tough play for Rosales. He makes it to end the inning. Adam Rosales throwing on the run. Guns down Kevin Pilar.
Day presented by Schneider's. The first 20,000 in attendance will receive a Fire Up the Grilly barbecue apron. Be sure to visit the WestJet flight deck. That'll be transformed into Dad's ultimate den, where he can enjoy all of his favorite things. BlueJays.com for tickets. Wanted to also say hello to another dad, Ron Kenyon, watching the game today with his wife Patricia and daughter Laura. They're watching today in Sudbury. Ron introduced his daughter to baseball, and it's a big Blue Jays family. Ron dealing with some health issues back home. On behalf of all of us, wishing you all the best and hope everybody up there in Sudbury is enjoying the game today.
Indeed,
from here in Oakland.
and we echo those sentiments for sure. Rash, thank you very much. A lot of great fans from coast to coast watch the Blue Jays all the time. Trevor Plouffe, he led off the second inning with a walk. Missing his former teammate. He is still 0 for 25 with that walk.
19 strikeouts over his last 14 games. I don't remember Plouffe being a big strikeout guy when he was with Minnesota.
They went out and brought in some veterans to try to stabilize this younger team, and it hasn't really paid dividends. There's a drive to left, and this is going to go. That's the 4th home run Plouffe has hit off his former teammate, Francisco Liriano.
Well, if you're going to snap an 0 for 25, do it in grand fashion. And he does it again with a home run. He had gone 14 consecutive games without an RBI also before that swing.
First hit in his last 26, and he makes the most of it. And just like that, this powerful A's team has made it a one-run game.
Looked like it was a 1-0 fastball out over the plate. And he knows it. He got that one, broke it down quickly. Plouffe connects.
Plouffe's career high in home runs was 24 in 2012. That's when he and Liriano were teammates with the Twins. But that was a no-doubter. He got all of that one. His 7th home run of the season, 14 RBIs, and it's a one-run game.
We've been talking about how impressed we are, how the ball's been carrying here, and how far some of the balls have hit in this ballpark. I think the old ballpark, that would have been way gone too. I'm talking about before they put the big, what do they call it out there in center field?
Mount Davis.
Mount Davis.
They built it for the Raiders to increase the capacity for the football season. You can see they have tarps over the seats in the upper deck. But those are the luxury suites out in center field that are jammed during the football season. Kennis strikes out. That's 5 strikeouts for Liriano, first out of the bottom of the 4th inning.
Tell you, it's a nice target to shoot for. And the hitters in this series have been hitting it a lot. This time Canna strikes out for the 2nd time. Another slider right underneath the bat.
Josh Begley, the catcher, flied out to Bautista in right. 4-3, the Blue Jays lead. The slider catches the outside corner. That hard slider's in the dirt. Changeup, he gets a piece of it. It was off the plate away. Liriano gave up a home run to Aaron Judge in his last start. Gary Sanchez had a leadoff single in the 6th. Judge hit an opposite field home run to the seats in right, and Liriano was out of the game. That's going to be foul. Francisco Liriano, when he first came up, pitched every day in 2006. He finished 3rd in the American League Rookie of the Year voting. He had a good season, made the All-Star team that season. He had a terrific first half of his season, then had arm problems in the second half. He finished up the season in 2006, 12-3. The American League Rookie of the Year that year, a fellow that's still pitching, named Mr. Justin Verlander. Jonathan Papelbon finished 2nd, and Liriano was 3rd. Bautista, once again, will make the play on Begley. 2-way. Well, one thing about Oakland, they hit home runs. Last night they won just for the 2nd time all season when they didn't hit a home run. And you can see the home run differential between home and road. This has never been a favorable hitter's ballpark, but it's a different story this season. They've had 20 more home runs here at home. Arizona's always been a good hitter's park. Dodger Stadium has never been characterized as a hitter's park. Brewers and Cubs, you know the Brewers is a good hitter's park, but the A's have the best home run differential between home and road in the majors.
54 home runs now in the Coliseum, the most in the majors for a home team. They're also 3rd in the American League. And here's the thing about their home runs. We all know about these great hitting teams that they have had here in Oakland. It's the most home runs in athletic history after 58 games after last night's game. most. Think about the Bash brothers that they had here in the 80s and the great teams in the 70s. This is a more powerful team.
Yeah, it's hard to fathom with the Canseco McGuire years, and they had Dave Henderson on that team, a lot of big power hitters. This team is out homered them all.
Through the first 58 games, they had 85 and 2,000.
High fly ball into right. Bautista calls for it. He makes the catch. Rosales is retired, and ends the inning. We go to the 5th. Blue Jays have a 1-run lead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio.
Hey fans, sitting in section 127.
Premium is back and better than ever. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. You can visit MLB.tv for details. Guys, we talked about the Blue Jays and their injuries and the number of players on the DL. 432 man games lost to injuries so far this season. 51 shy of all of last year combined.
Wow. Been that kind of year. Unfortunate injuries all over the place. Josh Donaldson hits a high fly ball to right at the edge of the warning track, and Pinder makes the catch. Donaldson's retired on the fly ball. Terrell Cotton's done a nice job settling down in this ball game. He gave up a 4 spot in the 2nd, but nothing after that.
Blue Jays are getting the ball in the air against them. Just a couple of ground ball outs. Everything else has been in the air, and it's always a sign that maybe home runs are right around the corner.
Jose Bautista is 0 for 2 so far. There's a changeup right at the top of the strike zone, and Bautista's not sure that was in there.
Yeah, he has been happy today with the strike zone. A couple of pitches that he thought were borderline or just off the plate called strikes. He'll throw that changeup 75, 79 miles per hour. That one is off. He'll throw that changeup more to lefties, righties every now and then, just to give him something to think about. He'll drop it on the right-handers.
Here's the 1-2 to Bautista. Breaking ball down and away. 2-2 now. And again, this is a pattern we have seen all afternoon. Cotton gets ahead quickly, 0-2, and then takes him 2 or 3 more pitches before he gets some resolution to an at-bat. Broken bat, little pop-up. Jed Lowry makes the catch on the outfield grass, 2 away.
19 pitches in the first inning for Cotton, 36 more in the 2nd inning. But you're right, he has settled down since that 2nd inning. He's only had 1 base runner. That was the leadoff walk last inning to Russell Martin.
You know, are a lot of pitching coaches that want to see you finish off an at-bat on the third pitch. When you're ahead 0-2, that's when a hitter is most vulnerable. Just go right after him. And it certainly depends on where you are in the lineup. But when Roger Clemens got somebody down 0-2, you were out. It was over. He was going down and away with a fastball. If he misses that one, the next one's going to be a splitter, and you'd swing and miss, and it was over.
You know who was like that? He's on the disabled list right now. Felix Hernandez was like that. When it was 0-2, he'd come right after you.
Well, you've been in that situation, and now you've got, you're spread out, you're trying to be defensive, trying to cut down your swing, put the bat on the ball. And then somebody throws a fastball down and away, the hardest pitch to hit for a strike, and you don't have much of a chance. Here's another 0-2 pitch on the ground. Rosales has time at short, and that'll do it. Another quick inning for Jarrell Cotton. He's retired 6 in a row. Ruin your workday by WestJet. They don't overbook their flights, and this is right outside the ballpark, Championship Plaza, where they have brought the food trucks in, and that's something they started this season, and we can vouch for the quality of those trucks. It's pretty good food. Time now for the schedule ahead, brought to you by WestJet. The Blue Jays will wrap up this series and have an off day tomorrow in Seattle before they resume play on Friday, 3-game series. Then they fly back to Toronto, have Monday off. Rays are in town for a quick 2-game series. Another off day, and then Chicago White Sox for a 3-game weekend series.
Heading up to Seattle, the pitcher for the Mariners on that last day, James Paxton. I'm anxious to see him pitch this year.
You might be anxious. I don't think the hitters are too anxious to see him. He's really throwing the ball well.
Yeah, he's 5-0 with an ERA of 1.69.
Paxton for his career 2-1 against the Blue Jays, but they've hit him around a little bit. He's given up 11 earned runs in 15 2/3 innings.
He's a different pitcher this year. He's got a little bit more command, a little bit more control.
As you mentioned, he's 5-0 with a 169 earned run average. Just 14 walks and 55 strikeouts. Rajai Davis puts a charge in it. Coughlin right there at the wall and missed it. Davis is around second, headed for third. They better get it in quickly. Rajai was thinking about trying to score, but he's stopped by Chip Hale with nobody out. Davis had inside the Parker on his mind the whole way.
Yes, he did, and with his speed, he's such an aggressive base runner. Rajai Davis not taking anything for granted. Not that that ball was going to be out of the ballpark. He knows better than anybody if he got all of it. Coughlin back to the wall, takes a quick glance, and it's off of his glove. And once it hits the dirt, Rajai is thinking, I could go to 3, maybe even 4. You know as a hitter if you got it all. And here he goes. Chip Hale throws up the stop sign right there. Or Rajay was going to give it a shot. I think that was the right move. You got to hold her. You can't have him thrown out in a 1-run game.
Nobody out. A leadoff triple. So with that triple, Danny Barnes starts to loosen up. Rajay Davis is 3 for 3, and he's a home run shy of the cycle. And we're in the 5th. Chad Pinder takes it outside. It's 2-0. Pinder has struck out and reached on an air. Blue Jays are playing the infield back with nobody out. Number 2 man in the batting order. Lowry to follow, Davis behind him.
Well, where they are in the lineup. If they were down at the bottom of the lineup, you might take a chance in a 1-run game in the 5th inning of bringing the infield in, but you got 2, 3, 4 coming up. John Gibbons hoping for a pop-up or a strikeout.
Inside. 3-1 now. Jed Lowry is on deck. There's a fly ball to left and deep. Coughlin makes the catch. Davis tags at third, and it's going to be a tie game. Pinder with the sac fly drives in his 16th run of the season, and it's a 4-4 ball game.
Pinder's a nice looking player. We've seen him play some shortstop in this series and right field and swing the bats. Trying to get that ball up. He got it up enough and into the outfield to drive in his 16th run, and we are all tied.
Lowry is 0 for 2. This is a much different Oakland A's ball team than we've seen the last several seasons. As we mentioned, coming into play today, they've won 16 of their last 23 games here in this ballpark. Played very well at home. There's a liner to center. Pilar got a good read and can't come up with it. So Lowry's aboard with another hit. That'll be 6 hits for Oakland.
So just 3 for the Blue Jays. Pilar read that one off the bat, and he came hard in. And we've seen him make these catches time and time again. Gets a good read, reaches in, and it looked like it was in his glove, but then when he hit the turf, can't squeeze it. It'll be another hit.
The Oakland hitters seeing Liriano for the 3rd time. Davis tripled. Pinder hit a deep sac fly to left, and Lowry with a line drive base hit to center. Chris Davis has already driven in 2 this afternoon. An RBI double in the 1st, and RBI fielder's choice in the 3rd.
Just beat out a ground ball double play. If the Blue Jays could have turned it, he would have been out of the inning.
Big cut by Davis.
Trying to keep that ball away from him. Stay away from his power. 42 home runs last season for the A's. He's their team leader again this year with 17.
He's only had 1 home run against left-handed pitching. Kind of surprising. Well, he really rolls that top hand over, doesn't he?
Yeah, that front side really steps towards the 3rd baseman. Likes that ball inside. So you got to keep it away from him.
4-4 game. Blue Jays trying to avoid the sweep here in Oakland. Tulowitzki makes the play on the short hop. Goins with a nice turn at second. They complete the double play. So Davis is retired on the double play. That ends the inning. But the A's get the tying run. Rajay Davis with a leadoff triple comes in to score. Nice double play started by Tulowitzki. Goins with a good turn. He might be out of the ball game. He has pitched 5 innings, and it's a 4-4 game. But you look at the Blue Jays starters ERA. April, he got off to a decent start. In May, they started to deal with the injuries, and they had some replacements come in. They still don't have their full complement of 5 starters back in a rotation. Liriano's making just his second start since coming off the DL. But their June ERA is up over 5.7. And it's not pretty right now.
Yeah, trending in the wrong direction. Starters just 1-4 with that 5.79 ERA over their last 6 starts. Their starters have pitched 7+ innings just twice in their last 33 starts. That was a very strong point for the Blue Jays last year. They just haven't been able to turn that into some consistency yet this season.
The Blue Jays have been fortunate that the bullpen has thrown so well lately, given the fact they've had to work so much.
9 times they have thrown 7 innings this year, which is the 6th fewest in the major leagues, making it tough on the bullpen.
Smoak homered in the second, his 16th home run of the season. 2-0 pitch, drilled to center field. He is on everything he looks at. Leadoff single for Smoak. Let's check in with Jamie.
Number 2, Tulowitzki.
Charlie Blackmon doesn't get the credit he deserves for the kind of hitter he is. He has really become a great hitter.
Got to put him in the MVP conversation. I know it's early.
There's 81 hits coming into play today.
Yeah, extra base hits, RBIs from the leadoff spot. I mean, he's closing in on 50 RBIs, isn't he?
Blackmon has 47 RBIs at the start of play today. He has 27 multi-hit games and 149 total bases. That's all before today's action.
Yeah, and Jamie said he had a 2-run double, so that's up to at least 49 RBIs from the leadoff spot.
They're one of those legit teams. Everybody keeps wanting to discount the Rockies, but they're for real. They got every aspect of the game covered.
I had a chance to run into a scout the other day in Toronto, and I was asking about some of the better teams that they have seen. He has seen this year, and he said the Colorado Rockies. He said they are legit and they are for real. And I asked him why. He said they're young pitching. He says those young guys are good. And they've got a good nucleus of athletic players that they can run out there every day.
You know what else they're doing this year? They're winning on the road. They're 21-10 on the road. They are always criticized for playing in Denver and say, well, yeah, you guys play in Denver. Well, they're 21-10 on the road. That ties them with Washington for the most road wins in the National League. Only the Houston Astros have more wins than the Nationals and the Rockies on the road.
Under radar signing of the offseason, Greg Holland.
No question about it.
How about that?
Tulowitzki fouls it on. John Exford loosening up for the A's. He's throwing the ball well. Sixth inning, Smoak's at first with a leadoff single. Bounced into dirt. Good block by Fagley.
Well, this is right around his limit over his last 2 starts, 5 2/3, and his last start 5 2/3. The start before that at New York.
Smoak's not going anywhere. 3-2. It's a 4-4 game. We are in the 6th. The Jays once again have been out hit. Oakland has 6 hits. The Jays just 4. 2 of the 4 Jays hits are home runs. Smoak and Pilar have gone deep. Tulowitzki strikes out. 4th strikeout of the afternoon for Jarrell Cotton.
Looked like another off-speed pitch. Maybe that cutter that he's getting a lot of strikeouts with since he's come back from the minor leagues. It's just off the plate, and Tulo strikes out for the 2nd time this afternoon.
4s across the board. Hits, earned runs, walks, and strikeouts for Cotton as he's nearing 100 pitches. Russell Martin drives it to right. Pinder is there and makes the catch. Martin hits it sharply, but right to Pinder.
Pinder got a good jump on that ball. I like this guy. The more we watch him here 3 days in a row, he got a good jump on that ball, made that look easy.
He made one of the best outfield throws we have seen this year in the 5th inning yesterday on a Kevin Pilar single. Pilar trying to stretch it into a double. Pinder threw a 1-hop strike to second to nail him. Chris Coghlan, the left fielder. Coghlan batting with 2 outs. Coghlan's had a couple of adventures in left field defensively. It's a tough Sun field here. He was a natural left fielder. 2009, when he won the National League Rookie of the Year award, he played every day in left field for the Florida Marlins.
Had a big year for him. Probably didn't have to deal with this Sun fielder. This is a brutal left field at the Coliseum.
Upstairs. 2-1 now.
He'll throw his changeup a little bit more often to left-handed batters. Right now he's in a fastball count. If you're Chris Coghlan, he walked his first time up. You're looking for something center cut right here to try and score that run from first.
Popped it back out of play. The Blue Jays have only scored in 1 run, and that's been a familiar theme lately, where they'll score a bunch of runs and then they can't add on any runs. They took a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, scored in that 1 inning, 2nd inning. Lead-off home run, then a 3-run home run. And got to figure out ways to score when they don't hit home runs. Hit some walks, put the ball in play, make this team make outs.
There's that changeup, and Coglin's able to put the bat on the ball. You mentioned Blue Jays without homering. They are 3-11 when they don't hit a home run. Oakland's kind of the same way. They are very reliant on the home run. They are 2-10 without homering.
These are the 2 best teams, if you will, scoring runs via the home run in baseball. Oakland, Toronto, 1-2.
Ball 3. It's a full count with Smoak at first. Smoak had a leadoff single. And Goins will bat if Coglin can reach base. I'm going to play behind Smoak over at first. There goes the runner. Ground ball. Lowry gets a little short hop, throws in time, and the inning is over. Terrell Cotton has done a nice job after a rocky 2nd inning. He's pitched 6 strong innings, and he's pitching in a tie game.
Quote, obsessed with the state of his finger earlier this year, checking it almost hourly, looking for any sign it would be healed. He's over that now, just focusing on any positive to help in his recovery. Good step today, working on the mound for the first time since May 19th with this towel drill. He called it a good test based on exertion, feels it's a good gauge on where the finger stands, and says there's no issue now. Skin healthy, blister gone, Sanchez reports. The first week of the throwing program he began Monday is critical to the rehab process, and today's towel drill going well is a good step. Sanchez believes, depending on how the hand reacts, he could be throwing off a mound by the time the Blue Jays return, guys, to Toronto next week.
That would be good news indeed if he can get back on the mound and start throwing. This is Danny Barnes. His 19th appearance was here on Monday. He threw the ball very well.
Picked up Jay Happ in that game. Faced 5 batters, retired all 5 of them, with one of them being a strikeout. And he's going to be pounding that strike zone against the A's.
Ryan Healy leads things off here. That was the first batter that Barnes faced in the 6th inning when he came into the game. That's a wrinkle we have seen more frequently lately, is that slider from Danny Barnes.
Yeah, the information gets passed around pretty quickly in baseball. Fastball, changeup, so he's trying to give him a little something extra to think about.
Francisco Liriano, the starter, went 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 unearned run, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Rajai Davis with 3 hits, double, single, triple, and Rajai scored 3 of the 4 runs. It's a high pop. Smoak's got a long run. He's got some room over there. That ball is going to be out of play. Hit right behind that signage down there. I don't want to give this guy too many extra swings.
Yeah, I think you got to keep the ball away from him too. He likes that ball middle in. And he's got a lot of power. Playing first base today. We've seen him as a DH. We've seen him as a third baseman. We've seen him as a first baseman in this series.
We've also seen him as a hitter. He's had a heck of a series. There's a good changeup. Barnes strikes out Healy. That's the way the bottom of the 6th begins. Danny Barnes has been a very, very pleasant surprise for the Blue Jays. Kind of came out of nowhere last year at the end of the year. He started the season in AA, went to AAA. He was putting up ridiculous numbers, and finally he earned the call up to the big leagues and didn't disappoint.
Don't they say that all the time about kids in the minor leagues? Make them move you. Give them a reason to move you up. Your performance will dictate where you belong. And last season, his performance down in the minor leagues, each step that he went up, he got better and better. And he forced them. He forced the Blue Jays to move him through the organization.
Good changeup. And you know, Barnes is another one of those pitchers. It's not about velocity. It's about command of your pitches. We talked about command with reference to Jarrell Cotton, the starter for the A's. You know, Danny doesn't light up the radar gun, but boy, he certainly takes the sting out of the hitter's bats.
Check out pitch cast right there. That'll tell you where those pitches are and the quality on the corners, up and down and in and out. And now he can change speeds with his fastball changeup combo.
Outside, you could hear the home plate umpire Chris Siegel calling it a ball. Danny's 27 years old. He was drafted out of Princeton University. So he's a college pitcher that has blossomed. Fly ball into center, not deep. Fegley has flied out 3 times today.
Available Honda Sensing in the all-new 2017 CR-V, designed to help keep you safe wherever you play. Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Alcatraz sitting in the middle of San Francisco Bay on a beautiful afternoon here. That was Trevor Plouffe who flied out to center. This is Mark Canha, the left fielder. Canha has struck out twice, both of those against Liriano. Bottom of the 6th inning in a 4-4 game. The Blue Jays trying to avoid the sweep at the hands of the A's. It looks like John Axford's going to come into the game. He continues to throw down in the A's bullpen down the left field line.
Yeah, this one's going to be settled by the bullpen. What bullpen is going to bend and not break?
So fastball 93 miles an hour.
It's got a high spin rate. That's why those hitters can't pick up that fastball, and he can throw up in the strike zone that way. This afternoon, that changeup looks like it's got a little bit more movement on it than we have seen in the past from Danny.
Mentioned Barnes threw an inning and 2/3 on Monday, just threw 17 pitches, so he's well rested. It's another high fastball. Barnes in his first professional season, 2010. He started in the Gulf Coast League, went to Lansing, and pitched in 22 games overall. Bounce that ball in the dirt. And Danny was kind of just a journeyman reliever down in the minors. Never made a professional. He made 3 starts in the minors, but he has always been considered a relief pitcher.
And he can give you multiple innings out of the bullpen. 9 times out of his 19 appearances this year, he's given them more than 1 inning.
Just never know where effective relievers are going to come from. Just have to trust your eyes. And Blue Jays looked at his record last year and said, this guy doesn't walk anybody. Let's see what he's got. Sure enough, he's earned his position on this staff. Another good changeup. You're right. There's a lot of movement on that changeup. Danny Barnes retires the side in order with a couple of strikeouts. They'll go to the 7th. It's a 4-4 game. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. The mascot race. Dennis Eckersley, Raleigh Fingers, and Ricky Henderson replicated.
Ricky, I know you're fast, but you're not going to catch the Eck. not now, not when you're far behind like that. I love that mascot race here and in Washington, the President's Race.
President's Race is pretty cool with the big heads. John Axford, the Canadian who pitched in the 7th inning on Monday night. Axford gave up a single to right and nothing more in his inning of work, just working his way back from injury.
Yeah, he was on the opening day roster, but did not appear in a game before he was placed on the DL the first week of April. He had a right shoulder problem. So he is coming back. You and I had a chance to visit with him yesterday, and he was talking about being on the disabled list, how it's no fun.
First time.
Yeah.
Said it was the first time he was on the disabled list, and you're right. He's always been healthy, always at the ballpark, always with his teams, and he really didn't know how to act. There's a good curveball to jump ahead of Ryan Goins, 0-2. One thing you don't realize about John Axford until you're standing next to him is how big he is. A big, strong man. He's had a heck of a career.
He was a closer, had some big seasons as a closer. Now he's a setup man for Oakland. You know, the one thing that he's really good at, rating movies.
Yeah. He has been featured in many articles about his ability as a movie critic.
Hasn't he picked the best picture of the year several times?
Yeah, like a long time running streak of correct picks. 2-2 pitch to Goins. High curveball. Axford didn't get the call. Looked like it might have caught the top of the strike zone. So from 0-2 to 3-2, Goins has seen just about everything Axford has to offer. Kevin Pilar hit a 3-run home run in the second. He'll bat next. Fly ball to left. Canna is there, makes the catch, one away. Drive the Game brought to you by Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Kevin Pilar hit 7 home runs all of last season and 548 at bats. This is number 8 already this year as he turns on that breaking ball and sends it out of here. 3 quick runs for the Blue Jays. That gave them a 4-1 lead at the time. His career high in home runs was 12. He might do that this afternoon's is our drive of the game. That was a laser to left field.
High fastball. Ball on a strike now. Axford began his college career at the University of Notre Dame, but he had Tommy John surgery in December of 2013. He sat out all the 2004 season. I said 2013, it was 2003. Pilar hooks it down the left side, but that's going to hook foul. So Axford missed the entire 2004 season at Notre Dame, most of the 2005 season. Then he transferred to Canisius College. He was just so-so his senior year, but he pitched well in Canada in the summer league, and he was eventually signed as a free agent by the Yankees.
I'm drafting this guy on size alone. Big guy. Throws hard.
Pilar called out on strikes. Axford gets him with that inside fastball.
Looked like it might have been a quick pitch from John Axford. A little wrinkle that we're starting to see a lot of the pitchers start to use. Might have taken Pilar by surprise as he picks up his first strikeout.
Down and away for ball 1. Josh Donaldson has walked twice and flied out. 7th inning, about time for Blue Jays home run again.
That's when they do some of their best work from the 7th inning on.
Trying to keep everything down and away from Donaldson, and there's Aaron Loop. He's throwing in the pen. Danny Barnes had a quick inning, 1-2-3. Josh Fagley, Adam Rosales in top of the order. Rajay Davis is scheduled batters. Donaldson takes 4 wide ones. He'll draw the 2-out walk, his 3rd walk of the afternoon.
It looked like Axford wanted no part of Josh Donaldson right there. 4 pitches that weren't even close.
Jose Bautista 0 for 3, but he has a home run in 2 at-bats against Axford. Donaldson bounced off early, but that ball gets away from Healy, not far enough to advance. Donaldson made a quick jump when he took his lead and kind of caught the attention of Axford.
I think he is doing that just to get his attention, to take it off of his pitch. Watch him as he just bounces and then they throw over there. I don't think he's really a threat to steal because of his leg problems that he has had. He was just trying to get the attention of John Axford. And he got him.
He sure did. Be careful if you divide your attention between first and home. There's a dangerous hitter at the plate. Bautista has 10 homers. Watch how Axford attacks Bautista compared to how he pitched Donaldson. Everything he threw Donaldson was down and away. He starts out Bautista with a high fastball.
That's where his breaking ball comes out of the same arm slots.
Oh, 0-2. Power against power. Liam Hendricks loosening up for Oakland. Bautista strikes out, a couple of strikeouts in a good inning for John Axford. Go to the bottom of the seventh, still a 4-4 game.
Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new 2017 Honda Rebel. Live your life. Love your ride.
Welcome back to Oakland, California. We have made it to the bottom of the seventh inning in this 4-4 game. Third and final game of this three-game series between the Oakland A's and the Toronto Blue Jays. Oakland has won the first two games of this series. Oakland has not swept the three-game series since last June when they swept the Minnesota Twins. The Blue Jays have not been swept in a series since the first week of September while playing in New York against the Yankees.
Tell you what, Oakland has played them tough. They have matched them pitch for pitch. They've out-homered them. And they've come up with some clutch hits in this series.
Josh Phegley, the catcher, breaking ball in the dirt. Of course, the Blue Jays have had a couple of sweeps in two-game series, but the last time they have been swept in a three-game series was last September. Danny Barnes, 1, 2, 3 in the 6th with a couple of strikeouts. Begley has flied out twice to Bautista in right.
They've got 3 left-handers, the A's, sitting on their bench. And John Gibbons did the right thing. He got Aaron Loop up, and he's hot and he's ready. He's just standing down there just in case Bob Melvin decides to go to his bench at any point in this inning.
The big man on the bench is Yonder Alonso, of course. He has 16 home runs. Ryan Tepera has since joined Aaron Loop. Matt Joyce and Stephen Vogt, the other left-handed hitters on the A's bench. Fly ball to center. Pilar right there to make the grab, 1 away.
Yeah, as a manager, you always have to think, what if? Well, what if they bring up one of those left-handers? I've got to have my guy ready. So Loop is ready. And if he doesn't make a move, if Melvin doesn't make a move, John Gibbons stays with Barnes and he goes after these right-handed hitters.
Both teams have an off day tomorrow. Blue Jays will be in Seattle. The Oakland A's will be in Tampa Bay. I like our trip better than theirs.
Seattle's always fun. I mean, that's almost like a home game for the Blue Jays.
Shortstop Adam Rosales. Danny Barnes, another terrific outing. He's retired 4 batters he's faced. It's 9 straight in this series that he's retired. Three straight balls to Rosales, the number 9 hitter. Rajay Davis has had some afternoon. He's waiting on deck.
Rosales was the batter who got the big hit in last night's ball game. If you remember that one in the 5th inning. Had an infield hit that drove in the tie-breaking run. They would go on to score a couple of runs in the 6th inning and win it 4-1, but Rosales' at bat was a good one.
Three balls and a strike. Strike 2.
Taken all the way. Trying to work a walk.
Fly ball to right center. Pilar is there and makes the catch just short of the warning track.
Outfielders have been busy this afternoon for the Blue Jays. Bautista and Pilar in the outfield have had a ton of chances.
Rajay Davis is a home run short of a cycle. He doubled in the 1st, singled in the 3rd, and tripled in the 5th. And he's come in to score each time he's reached base. He has scored 3 of the 4 A's runs, and there you see the last cycle. Mark Ellis against Boston in 2007. Good work by Scott Carson, our stats man. 2007. They don't come along very often. And it's been an improbable couple of days with Scooter Gennett hitting 4 home runs yesterday, 17 total bases, 10 RBIs. And it's the first time since 1920 that there have been 2 players with 10 RBIs in the same season. Davis strikes out. Danny Barnes 6 up, 6 down. 2 strong innings from Barnes. We'll go to the 8th. Still time. innings this afternoon. Gives up 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, and had 4 strikeouts over 6 innings. There are 106 pitches. All 4 runs that Cotton surrendered came in the 2nd inning. Blue Jays hit 2 home runs in that inning and scored all of their runs in 1 inning once again.
Didn't look like he was going to get to 6 innings. It took him 106 pitches. He threw 36 of them in that 2nd inning, but he settled down. Got his team now into the 8th inning. Liam Hendricks will take over. Hendricks 2-0, a 328 earned run average. We saw Liam a couple of days ago. He threw an inning, gave up a couple of hits and a run to the Blue Jays, gave up the home run to Justin Smoak, and he will face Smoak this inning.
Morales, Smoak, and then Tulowitzki. Mighty cut by Kendrys Morales. Hendricks has a good arm. He just there's back and fires that heater at 95.
When he first came up, I remember seeing him. He was a starter with Minnesota. He didn't have this type of fastball, but he's gotten stronger and he's aggressive with it.
That's a fair ball. He will flip to Hendricks, 1 away. One out in the top half of the 8th inning. Ryan Healy playing at first. Hendricks in relief of John Axford. Axford, who had a couple of strikeouts in his 1 inning of work, throwing the ball very well.
Mentioned that home run that Smokey hit against him the other day. That snapped a string of 6 straight scoreless appearances for Hendricks. So he's been throwing the ball well for Oakland lately. I think it was a fastball away, and Justin stayed with it, a lot like today's home run to left field.
Smoak is 2 for 3, average up to 289. High fly ball, that's going to stay in the ballpark. Pinder is there. Smoak's retired, 2 away. 8th inning, Joe Smith starting to crank it up. What a job he has done. He's been terrific all season long for the Blue Jays, but lately he has been spot on. Everything he throws is in a great spot. Shortstop Troy Tulowitzki. He is 0 for 3 to this point. As we mentioned, the Blue Jays have but 4 hits.
2 of them home runs. They've had their share of walks. Cotton walked 4. Axford walked a batter. So they've had some base runners. They've also left a base runner on in every inning, but the 3rd and the 5th.
Hendricks has got a good fastball today. Hard breaking ball for the strikeout. Liam Hendricks retires the side in order. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th in this 4-4 game in Oakland. Now time for Blue Jays Central Updaters. Jamie Campbell with Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio.
Joe Smith out for the 8th. He certainly knows the Athletics well from his time playing in the division with the Angels, and Oakland has been his kryptonite. So much so that Smith was reflecting on his 2014 season. He gave up only 15 runs all season, 8 to these Athletics. Can't tell you why, can't tell you how, he said, but at the time it had become such a running dialogue with the Anaheim team that in August of that year, when Smith finally shut down the A's, manager Mike Scioscia walked in the mealroom postgame and declared to everyone, let it be known that Joe Smith actually didn't give up a run to Oakland tonight, everyone. Smith can actually laugh about it now, guys.
Well, that's when you know you're a big part of a team, when you can be the brunt of that reaction from your manager. But Joe Smith's a terrific reliever, great teammate, and he has thrown the ball very well for the Blue Jays.
Putting up some big numbers this season. And he's quite the basketball player, too. You hear what he and some of his teammates did yesterday? They went over and had a shoot around with the Warriors yesterday, right next door here. And he was telling me in 2015, when he was with the Angels, he had a game of pig against Steph Curry and beat him.
Wow.
He beat him. Mike Trout was also in on that. He played Draymond Green and beat him in a game of pig. So quite the basketball player, Joe Smith.
Pretty good athlete, and last year his numbers were down because he had a hamstring problem. He has uncharacteristically fallen behind the first batter. There he throws a strike. Matt Joyce is pinch hitting for Chad Pinder, the right fielder. It doesn't make any difference this season for Joe Smith. Righties, lefties, send them all up, because he has pitched very well against both.
Yeah, he can go sinker down and away to lefties, backdoor breaking ball. He can go inside like that fastball. He's throwing harder. I mean, his stuff just looks great. It's playing.
Lefties have hit 238, righties 220. He's not giving up much. Danny Barnes with 2 fine innings of relief. He retired all 6 batters he faced and struck out 3. That's a pretty good pitch. That slider looked like it caught the inside corner, but it's called the ball. So it's a full count to the pinch hitter, Matt Joyce. Number 3 hitter Jed Lowry is on deck. He singled his last time up. Smith elevates that fastball and strikes out Joyce.
Well, when you're hot like this and you're pitching as well as Joe Smith is, you got to use him. This is number 31, so he would take over the lead now from Danny Farquhar, Jose Alvarez, for the most times used in the American League. Blue Jays have played a lot of close ball games also, and John Gibbons has used his setup man a lot this year, and he loves it. He loves the workload.
The high fly ball to right. Bautista dealing with the sun. Got that glove up there to shade his eyes and makes the catch on Jed Lowry. 2 quick outs for Joe Smith. The strikeout of Matt Joyce for Smith.
Only hitter, number 2.
His 43rd strikeout. And that's really out of character for Smith. He's never been a real high strikeout guy. He came into this game with a strikeout per 9 inning average of 13.6. His career average is 7.7. And he's been racking up the strikeouts this season. Chris Davis takes strike 1. Another thing that has been very effective for Smith is his ability to throw first pitch strikes. He leads the Blue Jays in that department.
Get in, get out, and that's what he has done this year. He's been solid as a setup man. Figure he's got a pitch today with the off day yesterday. Joe hasn't pitched in this series. Last time out on the 4th, he picked up the win against the Yankees. Gotta figure Osuna might be pitching today at some point also. Roberto has not pitched in this series.
He last pitched on Sunday as well. Boy, you watch Chris Davis at the plate, you don't have to try to figure out what he's trying to do. He's trying to lift. He's looking for a ball on the inner half and trying to hit it over the ballpark fence in the left. You see he puts all his weight on that back leg and just kind of swings that front leg around and opens up, gets everything moving toward the pull side of the diamond.
Steps towards the shortstop to open up that front side a little early. He's got great hands and bat speed. That's where he gets a lot of his power.
It's interesting how hitters manufacture power in different manners. You can see he really rolls his top hand over and finishes low. Josh Donaldson, on the other hand, finishes with that bottom hand high, and that's where he gets all of his carry. But they're both equally powerful home run hitters, just a different style, different stroke.
Josh has to finish high and finish through to get that lift, and he wants to get the ball in the air.
Strike 3 called. A couple of strikeouts for Joe Schmidt. Once again, the bullpen doing their thing. 9 up, 9 down between Barnes and Smith. For you later on tonight at 7 Eastern, about 45 minutes from now on Sportsnet, it'll be the Boston Red Sox in New York take on the Yankees. The Red Sox have won 11 of their last 15 games, outscoring opponents by 40 runs. And a win on Wednesday tonight would move the Red Sox into a tie for first place for the first time since entering play back on April 19th. They're coming on strong.
Rick Porcello versus CC Sabathia. Matt Joyce will stay in the ballgame and play right field. Yeah, that should be a titanic struggle tonight in New York.
It's been a struggle here today in this 4-4 game. The bullpens have been shut down for both ball clubs. Hendricks retired the side in order in his first inning in the 8th. Gets ahead of Russell Martin with the first pitch strike. Martin, Coughlin, and Goins for the Blue Jays. Bouncing ball, big hop for Rosales at shortstop. 1 away. Hendricks has retired 4 in a row.
They've got some veterans down in that bullpen for the Oakland A's. The numbers don't look pretty, but we've seen these guys for a long time. Hendricks has had success at the big league level. Matson, Axford, Casilla, some veteran guys. Surprised that their numbers have not been very good this year.
Yeah, their bullpen numbers aren't very impressive, but you're right. There are some individuals down there that can throw a baseball. Chris Coghlan, the left fielder. He walked and scored a run in the second. The Blue Jays scored all 4 of their runs in that second inning. The A's bullpen, 14th in earned run average, 12th in hits per 9 innings, 10th in home runs. They've surrendered 27 home runs, so the numbers aren't reflective of some of the talent we have seen in this series. Hendricks with a strikeout, his second strikeout. He gets the high fastball past Chris Coghlan. Two away in the top of the ninth.
Ryan Goins.
Ryan Goins had a single his first time up. He's 1 for 3.
Well, his fastball is good today. Liam Hendricks, maybe a little extra juice trying to beat his former team.
Goins batting .220 for the season. One and two. Osuna and Tepera. Osuna if the Blue Jays should take the lead. Tepera if we are in a tie situation. Hendricks ahead 1 and 2. And he strikes out Goins. So Liam Hendricks in 2 perfect innings has 3 strikeouts, and we'll go to the bottom of the ninth. High fastball has been effective for Hendricks. And to work in this 4-4 game, we are in the bottom of the 9th inning. He'll deal with Ryan Healy to start things off. And Tepera has been very good, but this A's team is very powerful, and Healy represents some of that power. He's had quite a streak lately. You look at the Athletics, they are third in the American League in home runs. They've hit 87 home runs. They have another home run this afternoon, Trevor Plouffe. Tampa Bay, their big surprise with their power. The Astros, we kind of figured they'd be near the top in home runs. But this A's team, they have pounded out some homers this season.
They have scored 36 runs on this homestand, and 23 of them have come via the home run. Like a lot of teams in the American League, there's a lot of big home run hitting teams, but that's what they do. You saw the Astros on that list, and the Rays, Orioles, the A's, Blue Jays. Lots of power in the American League.
Tepera jumps ahead with a good fastball. Ryan worked the 8th inning in last night's game. He faced the minimum. He got a double play after walking Jed Lowry. Got Chris Davis to ground into a double play. Pulls that hard cutter off the plate outside. Ball in the dirt.
Not happy with the mound. That's the second slider that he has thrown, that he has bounced past Russell Martin. It's almost like his foot where it's landing. He's not real happy with the landing spot, so he's kicking at it.
And Russell's going to go out and talk to him. Obviously, he didn't want that to be a distraction, and he wants to make sure that Ryan is freed up mentally before he throws the next pitch, but he's doing some work on that landing spot. This is always a challenge for relievers coming into the game late. You got starters who pitch 5-6 innings, and another reliever or two will come in. You got lefties, righties, and they're going to tear up that mound pretty substantially by the 9th inning.
They chew it up, and you want to have a good feel for when you land, so everything works together.
It's going to reach the seats out of play. He strikes out. One away in the bottom of the 9th. Boy, the Blue Jays bullpen. Barnes, Smith, and now Tepera.
They haven't walked anybody, and now they're going to pick up their 6th strikeout. That's a wicked breaking ball out of the strike zone, set up by that last fastball that was right on the corner. 2-1 fastball. He fouled off. That pitch looks like the same pitch, but it just dives out of the strike zone, 1 down.
Aaron Loop is throwing down in the bullpen. He got up at the start of this inning. This is Yonder Alonso coming off the bench to bat for Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe homered today. Snap a long over.
And that's what he's looking to do right there, trying to lift that ball into the air.
Alonso, for the season, 16 homers, 34 RBIs, and .297 average. This is just his 2nd pinch hit appearance of the season. Lays off that high heater. Ball and a strike. Inside, it's ball 2. comes right back with the same pitch and gets the foul ball.
Stay in there. A big home run hitter like that, he likes to extend those arms and catch that ball out in front. If you stay inside there, you can't get the barrel to that baseball.
Fly ball into center. Lonzo's retired, 2 away. The bullpen for the Blue Jays has retired 11 in a row. Haven't allowed a base runner. Danny Barnes, 2 perfect innings. Joe Smith, a perfect 8th. And Ryan Tepera has retired the first 2 here in the 9th. Mark Canha's had a rough day. 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. Donaldson takes his time, long throw in time, and what a job by the bullpen. 12 straight retired by the Blue Jays bullpen, and we're going to go to extra innings in this 4-4 game.
o'clock Eastern tomorrow, June the 8th. You can choose from 20, 12, or 6-game ticket packs at bluejays.com/game packs until 5 Eastern tomorrow. Buck.
Thank you very much, Arash, and we are in extra innings here in Oakland. Defensive changes. First, the pitcher is a new pitcher. Frankie Montes comes off out of the bullpen to make his 21st appearance of the season. Liam Hendricks, 2 great innings, 3 strikeouts over 2 innings for Hendricks. Yonder Alonso came on to pinch hit for Trevor Plouffe, takes over at first, and with that, the first baseman Ryan Healy goes across the diamond to play third base now. Leadoff man is Kevin Pilar. Pilar homered in the second. His 8th home run of the season. Pilar had 7 home runs all year last year, and he's already hit 8.
And his career high is 12. That was set a couple of years ago. Montas will supply the power. He's got a good arm. Hard fastball, hard slider. He can reach 100 miles an hour, but will do this at times, fall behind.
3-0 to the leadoff man in extra innings. Montas came along with Jarrell Cotton from the Dodgers in that trade last July. .97 for a strike.
Originally a Red Sox international free agent in 2010, traded to the White Sox. That was part of the Jake Peavy trade. Pilar thought he had ball 4.
Could have been a ball. It's now a full count. First time Montas has faced the Blue Jays. Look out. Tough way to get on base. A 99-mile-an-hour fastball in the back of the shoulder. But Pilar will take it.
He has had bouts of wildness. Hard throwing reliever. Obviously didn't want to do that to lead off the 10th inning. Still doesn't feel very good.
The Blue Jays in extra innings 2 and 5. This is actually their 7th extra inning game on the road. They have a 2 and 4 record. Playing in extra innings away from Rogers Center.
You got to keyhole this guy. You got to look for one pitch in one spot right now. Don't know if he's got the ability to consistently throw strikes today.
Time granted just before Montas delivered the pitch. Chris Siegel answering the request of Donaldson, who was just waiting too long. You just got a sense that one of these Blue Jay hitters this inning is going to run into one of those fastballs, because we haven't seen anything but the heater.
I don't know if he's got the ability right now to throw it in the strike zone. His breaking ball. He's got a power slider. There it is.
Might have been right there. He threw it down and away for a strike. Donaldson's behind the ball and 2 strikes. High fly ball deep to left field. Get going, ball. Get up, ball, and gone. Josh Donaldson, another home run late in the game. A 2-run shot here in the 10th, and he caught up to that fastball.
You see enough fastballs like that, he's going to supply the power. All you have to do is make sure you catch it out in front, and Josh, with one of those high arcing home runs, has put the Blue Jays ahead here in the 10th inning.
The Blue Jays 3 home runs. They've scored 6 runs, all coming in on home runs. For Donaldson, that's his 7th. Remarkable how he has delivered in the clutch.
Boy, there's nothing sweeter than coming back to where you made a name for yourself and then doing some damage against your former team.
Donaldson had a home run in the 8th inning on Sunday as the game winner against the Yankees.
And it looks like he might have done it again. High fastball. He knows he got enough of it. Kevin Pilar actually went back to tag up on this ball, thinking it might stay in the ballpark. But it just kept carrying and carrying. Outfielders drifting back and right over the 388 sign for home run number 7. That's how you finish on a high fastball. He didn't cut his swing off. He finished it, and he finished high.
Donaldson now with 7 home runs in 70 at-bats. Quite a pace he has set for himself. Bautista takes it down and away for ball 2.
Tell you what, he can rise to the challenge, can he? In those pressure-packed situations, he has that ability to shut it all out and come up with big hits.
Popped up back over the screen, out of play. You know, you have to be oblivious to your surroundings to be able to focus in these tough situations. And Donaldson is such a smart hitter. But boy, he gets locked in when he steps into the box in these tight situations. It's another pop-up over near the Blue Jays dugout, out of play. You see Donaldson during batting practice, how he is so focused during batting practice. If he's trying to work on something, he'll grind it out during BP.
Loud BP. Starting to hit some big sounds.
Bautista breaks his bat. Healy at third throws him out. That's the first out of the inning. For Donaldson, he now has 19 hits. 12 of those hits have been extra base hits.
Wow. Talk about the offense. And Blue Jays haven't been scoring runs. Well, they haven't had their big guys.
Well, coming into this game, the Jays have lost 3 of 4, and they've scored a total of 7 runs in those 4 games. Kendrys Morales has taken the collar today. He's 0 for 4. With that Donaldson hits, that's just the 5th hit for the Blue Jays. But 3 of those hits have left the yard.
Counted for all the runs this afternoon for the Blue Jays. Solo home run, 2-run home run, and a 3-run home run.
Smoak got it started with a solo shot to lead off the second. Kevin Pilar had a second inning 3-run home run. And now Donaldson a 2-run homer here in the 10th after Pilar was hit by a pitch to start the inning. Ground ball. Lowry to his left. 2 away.
Now batting, number 14, Justin Smoak.
So here is Smoak. Another 2-hit game today, 2 for 4 with a homer. Goes after the first pitch, and that's going to go foul.
And then fair out onto the field. Tell you, Smokey keeps that bat in the hitting plane for a long time, especially from the left-hand side.
It's a piece of that slider. Upstairs. 1-2 now to Justin Smoak. Blue Jays have taken the lead here in the top of the 10th on Josh Donaldson's 7th home run of the season. Hits this one down the right side. It's got the distance if it stays fair, but it's foul. Boy, he is in some kind of groove, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He homered his first time up to left field, sent a rocket to center field his second time up, then he singled and then just missed one his last time up. Hit a long fly ball to right field. That was back in the 8th inning against Liam Hendricks, and that time, like you said, got the distance, was just a little bit out in front.
Fouls that one off. Smoak batting .287 as we speak. His career average .228. He's had some sort of start to this season. .100 miles an hour, but off the plate.
He can hit those triple digits.
There's a deep drive to center. Get up, ball. He's done it again. Home run, Smoak. A 2-homer game for Justin Smoak. What an at-bat.
Long at bat, so he got everything. He got to see everything. And what an afternoon. Home run number 17, second one today, giving the Blue Jays a little bit more breathing room. What an at bat.
For Smoak, it's his first multi-home run game of the season. He knocks Frankie Montas out of the game, and the Blue Jays have a 7-4 lead. Multi-home run game of the season. He now has 17 home runs, and he is right there among the leaders in the American League. 18 for Aaron Judge, and then 3 hitters have 17, including Chris Davis and Justin Smoak in this game.
Very quietly, he is one behind the leader now, Aaron Judge. Look at the lift that he gets in the finish. That looked like an off-speed pitch, where a guy who's throwing 100 miles an hour, you can adjust to an off-speed pitch and knock it out of here. You are some kind of hot.
Here is Josh Smith. There's a breaking ball and misses to Troy Tulowitzki.
Smith was claimed off waivers from the Reds this past November. There's 10 games this year, 5.4, 79 earned run average. He throws a little bit of everything. Fastball, cutter, curveball, slider, changeup.
There's a fly ball to right. Matt Joyce is there. He makes the catch. The inning is over. But a big inning in the 10th inning. Josh Donaldson with a 2-run home run, and then Justin Smoak a solo shot. Donaldson won the game with a homer on Sunday at Rogers Center against New York. He has given the Blue Jays lead here in the 10th. Again, lean heavily on the home runs, and it started in the second inning. Justin Smoak led off the second with a opposite field home run, his 16th. Then in the same inning with 2 aboard, Kevin Pilar goes deep, a 3-run shot, his 8th home run. And then here in the 10th, Josh Donaldson with Pilar at first. It's a high blooming drive over the wall, a 2-run shot. And then for the first time this season, Justin Smoak, a 2-homer game as he hits his 17th to tie 2 other players for second in the American League in the home run department.
32 home runs now by the Blue Jays from the 7th inning on. That is tough to overcome, especially when you've got this guy in your bullpen, Roberto Osuna, for the 25th time. 13 for 16 in saves, and he's on a nice little roll.
Ezekiel Carrera takes over defensively for Chris Coughlin in left field. This is Stephen Vogt pinch hitting for Josh Fagley. Vogt started in the game yesterday. Finished up 0 for 1 with a walk. Osuna with a first pitch strike. Ahead 0-2. Boy, what a job the bullpen has done this afternoon for the Blue Jays. Danny Barnes 6 up, 6 down with 3 strikeouts. Joe Smith retired to side in order with 2 strikeouts, and Ryan Tepera retired to side in order with a strikeout. And now Roberto Osuna on for the save.
No hits, 6 strikeouts, 4 innings of work. That is 15 straight games that they have been called on to throw at least 2 innings, and they're doing it again.
Roberto Osuna has had saves in his last 8 appearances. 8 for 8. They have done a great job, and the other relievers in the bullpen have pitched so well. Osuna hasn't had to come in and pitch in non-save situations.
Here are the numbers you're just talking about. Also over his last 18, 12 saves, 23 strikeouts. He's been using cutter just a little bit more. Still has that great command of his fastball.
Pulled foul again. Ryan Tepera is the pitcher of record for the Blue Jays. Tepera in line for his 4th win. And if the Blue Jays can hang on and win this one, it will be their 15th win by the bullpen. That's the most in baseball. They came into this ball game tied with Baltimore and Houston. Each of those teams had 14 wins out of their bullpen. That's the most in baseball.
Keep it close. Blue Jays hit a lot of home runs late. That helps you win games out of that pen.
Vogt strikes out. 13 straight retired by the bullpen.
Kept getting around on that cutter that was in, so Russell Martin and Roberto Osuna said, you know what, let's go away and up and see if we can finish off this at bat, and they do.
Shortstop Adam Rosales is 0 for 3. That cutter has really developed into a terrific pitch for Osuna.
91 miles an hour with some late movement on it.
High fly ball into shallow center. Pilar calls everybody off and makes the catch. 2 away. Rajay Davis, a 3 for 4 afternoon. 69 career saves. He's already 6th on the franchise leaderboard in saves. Davis goes after the first pitch, and this is going to get down fair and go all the way into the corner. Davis is headed for second. He'll stop there with his 2nd double of the ball game, his 4th hit. of the afternoon.
What an afternoon for Rajay. Even though you're down by 3 runs, he's going to not waste any time, get that first pitch and get aboard for the 4th time. The only out he made today was a strikeout. That was in the 7th inning against Danny Barnes. Down by 3, we're just going to stop at second base.
Davis's first 4-hit game of the season. He had only one 3-hit game prior to this afternoon. Matt Joyce pinch hit for Chad Pinder in the 8th inning against Joe Smith and struck out. There's a base hit to right. Right to Bautista. Davis coming around third. Here's the throw to the plate. They got a shot at him. But Davis slides in safely as Mart couldn't handle the throw. 7-5.
You know, right before we got here, the Oakland A's had a game against Washington where they were down by 7 runs going into the bottom of the 9th inning. They scored 6 runs. First 2 batters go down quietly, then double single. You're right, they had a shot right there. If Russell could have come up with that ball, Rajay Davis would have been out and the game would have been over. But on the short hop, Russell can't come up with it.
How big is the Smoak home run now?
Yeah, little insurance.
Jed Lowry falls behind 0-1. Matt Joyce, who just drove in a run here in the 10th, hit a grand slam in that 9th inning on Sunday against the Nationals. Inside. 1-1 count to Jed Lowry. Lowry's 1 for 4 so far. One and 2 now. The A's are down to their final strike.
That runner at first base means nothing, so the Blue Jays are going to play back. Smoak is going to guard the line, though. That run doesn't mean anything. The guy at the plate does.
Got him. That's the ball game. Roberto Osuna strikes out Jed Lowry to end the game, and the Blue Jays salvage the final game of this 3-game series, and they did it with the long ball. Josh Donaldson, a 2-run home run in the 10th. Justin Smoak, a solo shot, his 2nd of the afternoon, also in the 10th, and the Blue Jays win it 7-5.
You know, we love talking offense and we love talking home run, but today this was about the bullpen. They came in here. Blue Jays let a 4-1 lead slip away. It was tied 4-4, so they had to shut everybody down, and they did, giving that offense a chance to win it late, which they do. Osuna picks up his 9th straight save, and the Blue Jays salvaged 1 game in this series.
Ryan Tepera improves to 4-1 on the season. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for Friday night from Seattle. Stay tuned. Here's Blue Jays Central. Jamie and Greg, take it away.
The Athletics 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors. They surrendered.